Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining today's reading. Today we are going to read Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī's book, Dana-keli-kaumudi. Before starting reading the book, we're going to give some brief introduction. Dana-keli-kaumudi, it is an ecstatic one-act play written by Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī. It describes the playful and memorable pastimes of Lord Kṛṣṇa, demanding a tall dāna from Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī and the gopīs. They were carrying butter through the forest of Vrindavan. And Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī, he lived between 1489 to 1564 AD, and he was a Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharya and a follower of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is one of the seniors of the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, including the six Goswamis are Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Srila Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Srila Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, Srila Jiva Goswami, and Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami. And ISKCON Desire Tree, we are actually reading the book from ISKCON Desire Tree's website. And ISKCON Desire Tree is a free online resource for devotees worldwide and a multimedia social network with a mission to spread Krishna Consciousness as per the desire of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is the Founder-Ācārya of this International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And they are providing this by providing the Gaudiya Vaishnava Biographies, Vedic knowledge, teachings and practices given by Vaishnava Acharyas. They are doing this by doing all of this, providing access to this. The rights for all the content presented are reserved by ISKCON Desire Tree. And we thank them for making it available for all of us to be able to read it online. And before starting the book, we're going to offer our prayers, get the blessings from the Vaishnava Acharyas and the deities before continuing. Om Ajnānatimirandhasya Jnanāñjana-śalākaya Chakshurunmīlitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Svapadamtikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavansya Sri Rūpam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamsya Namavom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmatī Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dīnabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vṛndāvaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha Krupa sindubhya eva cha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vṛnda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we're going to start reading Sri Dana-keli-kaumudi. Prastāvana, prologue. Nandi slokas. May the sight of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī's Kilakinchita ecstasy, which is like a bouquet, bring good fortune to all. When Sri Krishna blocked Radharani's way to the Dana-ghāti, there was laughter within her heart. Her eyes grew bright and fresh tears flowed from her eyes, reddening them. Due to her sweet relationship with Krishna, her eyes were enthusiastic. And when her crying subsided, she appeared even more beautiful. All glories to Radha's love for Krishna, the enemy of the demon Mura. Although it is all-pervading, it tends to increase at every moment. Although it is important, it is devoid of pride. And although it is pure, it is always beset with duplicity. Thus end the Nandi slokas. Sutradhara says, enough with all these words, looking about, aha, how is it that a great circle of saintly people glittering in the moonlight of my Nandi slokas, now trembles with ecstatic love at the foot of Nandisvara hill? Again looking about, he says, dancing, and his hairs erect, one devotee finds his body blossoming with joy. Withered and his face pale, another devotee finds his heart broken. Roaring, another devotee runs about. Falling, another devotee lies motionless. What has happened to these peaceful devotees that now they are overcome with love for Lord Krishna? Thinking for a moment, I know the reason. They have become wild by drinking the Kadamba nectar of spiritual love. Because when love develops in the heart of a devotee, he cannot check the transformation of his sentiments. His heart is just like the ocean at the rising of the moon. When the ebb tide cannot be checked, immediately there must be movement of high waves. Although in its natural state the ocean is always grave and unfathomable, when the moon rises, nothing can check the ocean's agitation. Similarly, those who are pure devotees cannot on any account check the movement of their feelings within. Looking again, he says, still, Lord Krishna's pastimes are more beautiful than anything in the world. Shaking his head, he calmly says, Lord Krishna's affectionate joking quarrel with Sri Radha enters the ears of the swan-like devotees and stops them from tasting anything else, even things others think to be the purest nectar. An actor cheerfully enters. Actor says, it's 7 features strong, its text beautiful in 2 ways, and its plot avoiding many twists. This artistic play shines like the glory of a great empire. Sutradhara says, O actor who has crossed to the farther shore of the ocean of expert skill in acting and dancing, you know very well how, as by my friends, I will now present a one-act play that bears the name Dana-keli-kaumudi. Meditating on the deity I worship, I will now pray for his blessing. He folds his hands. Glory to the eternal Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose holy name attracts. They who know what is sweet, whose good character delights King Nanda, and whose handsome form is a festival of bliss. Actor says, Master, look, look. O master of all poets, your beautiful poetry has made like stunned deer the circle of devotees who know how to taste nectar. Motionless, they do not even know who they are. Sutradhara says, filled with graceful poetry, why should the Nandi slokas at the beginning of this play not delight the devotees who know how to taste nectar? The voice from behind the scenes, aha, good. O teacher of the actors, you speak the truth. Reciting beautiful poetry, Nandimukhi will today delight the prince of Vraja, a prince who is the crown of all who know how to taste nectar. Sutradhara says, how, accompanied by Subala, did the forest goddess Vrinda come here? We must get the other actors for the play. The Sutradhara and actor exit. Thus ends the Prastāvana or prologue. Vishkambhaka, interlude. Conversing with Subala, Vrinda enters. Vrinda says, this is the person who spoke words behind the scenes. Subala, why does this good news not make your face blossom with happiness? Subala says, Vrunda, I don't understand it very well. Please explain it clearly. Vrunda says, by the order of her superiors and accompanied by her friends, Radha has gone to sell butter at the Yajna pavilion at Govindakunda shore. By Purnamasi's order, Nandimukhi went to tell Krishna of this. Subala says joyfully, Vrunda, why did her elders send Radha, who is splendid with all sweetness and charm, on such a petty errand? Vrunda says, the sages said that every gopi who on this day personally sells them fresh butter for this yama will find her every wish fulfilled. Subala says, who is the great man that will perform this yama? Vrunda says, his name is Vasudeva Maharaj. Subala says, why did he leave Mathura to perform his yama in the forest? Vrunda says, with wretched Kamsa still alive, how can that yama be done in Mathura? Vasudeva appointed Garga's son-in-law Bhaguri to perform the yama here. Subala says, this must be a wicked yajna, a yama of black magic. Vrunda says, no, it is meant to drive away calamities. It is meant to drive all calamities from Vasudeva's son Balarama and from Balarama's friend Krishna, whom Vasudeva loves more than his own son. Subala says, thinking for a moment, he cheerfully says, then the desire our dear friend Krishna has long held in his heart, the desire to tease Radha and the gopis by demanding that they pay a toll at the ghat, will now be fulfilled. Vrunda says, Subala, that pastime of demanding a toll is a great treasure for persons like you. Come, let's go to the Manasa Ganga. They both do that. Subala says, Vrunda, I hear swans sweetly cooing in the forest by the river's right bank. Vrunda says, that's not the cooing of swans, that's the jingling of the gopis' anklets. She looks again and happily says, look in the distance, surrounded by friends like herself and carrying on a red silk cloth coiled around her decorated head, an unmoving golden pot glistening with butter, smiling Radha walks to the Manasa Ganga. Subala says, Vrindavan forest is like a circle of clouds sweetly decorated by the splendid rainbow of Sri Radha and lightning flashes of her friends. Vrunda, I think it very bold and foolhardy to try and describe Radha's sweetness. Sweetness is beyond the power of words. Bowing her head, she shyly says, who in this world is qualified to praise Radha? Even though turning away from glorious and jealous goddess Lakshmi, as is, she were only a pile of straw. Without any shyness, Lord Kṛṣṇa honors me. I still have no opportunity to serve Radha. So be it. Still, I will place the fragrance of Radha's beauty on my words. Glancing at Subal, fools may say the beauty of the moon and the lotus comes from the glory of Radha's face. What kind of prize is that? The truth is that when they glimpse Radha's face from far away, the great host of splendid nectar moons and lotus flowers give up all pride in their own beauty. They are completely devastated. Subala, how glorious is its beauty! Vrundi Subala, you bring peacock feather-crowned Krishna behind the dark pavilion at the summit of Govardhana hill. After first watching the gopis' beautiful pastimes, I will eventually meet you there. Accompanied by Subala, Vrunda exits. Sri Dana-keli-kaumudi. Accompanied by 4 friends, Radha enters. Radha says, how these forests charm my eyes. Lalita, look. Splendid with footprints marked with a flag, thunderbolt, elephant gourd and lotus, and glorious with flower buds that brush against my toenails. These forests delight my heart and make it tremble. Lalita says smilingly, Vishakha, look, the beautiful nectar sweetness of the flute making them forget the actions of their bodies. The animals in this forest can never keep their minds from being wrapped in meditation. Radha says, aside, Perhaps the Prince of Raja will suddenly block our path, and as we carry this butter. Openly she says, "Friend Lalita, what did smiling Purnamasi say as we left today?" Lalita says, "She said, today you will see something wonderful." Radha says, "Lalita, please ask a question of all-knowing Purnamasi." Lalita says, "What is the question?" Radha says, "What great vow did Nandimukhi and other girls follow in their previous births?" Lalita says, "Why do you think they followed great vows?" Radha says, "Alas, alas, O intelligent one, even you ask a question like this. With the black bumblebees of their eyes, they always drink the nectar of the wonderful sweetness of the lotus flower of Krishna's face. A lotus flower splendid with the pollen of gently swinging short earrings, a sweetness, the slightest fragrance of which persons like you cannot approach from far away or touch even in your dreams. Therefore, I say you should accept initiation into the performance of great vows, and you should burn in a great fire of austerities until what Nandimukhi and her friends have attained is not far from your grip. Vishakha, Radha, is anyone more fortunate than Nandimukhi and her friends, and more fortunate than the gopis? There is one girl, a girl who must have followed great vows, who is more fortunate than all the people of Gokula." Radha says eagerly, "Vishakha, who is that girl? The crest jewel of all fortunate girls." Lalita says aside, "Who is like you?" Radha says, "Friend, I understand. You speak the truth. It is the flute that with its sweet and playful music that makes all of Gokula wild. The flute that itself becomes wild with bliss by tasting the sweetness of the nectar at Krishna's lips, that you praise with these words. It is not anything else." Lalita says smilingly, "True. Made of the best bamboo, and it's soft. Music making the hearts of the great souls tremble. The yellow flute is the most glorious and sweet." Radha says, "Friend, why do you smile? By the grace of her affectionate friends, this unfortunate person has only twice or thrice seen Krishna's face. Still, his sweet, delightful face charms this person's heart and makes her forget everything. Even though she always thinks of him, she cannot get Krishna to come before her eyes, yearning. O friend, with a slender waist, let us perform austerities to take birth among the bamboo reeds. Please know that is the best of all births. Only by performing many austerities was the flute able to taste the sweetness of Krishna's bimba fruit lips." Vrinda enters. "Vrinda, your heart's wrapped in talking. You do not notice how you now walk on the path to Indradvaja hill." Everyone turning. "Friend Vrinda, you speak the truth. Govardhana is already behind us. Let us take the southern path to Govinda Kunda." They all do that. Vrinda says aside, "Champakalata, look, extracting all the wonderful sweetness of Lord Krishna's other beloveds, the demigod Brahma happily created Radha to please him. Delighted with Radha, Lord Krishna no longer desires any other girl." Radha says, glancing to the right, how charming is the humming of the bees among the blossoming lotus flowers at Manasaganga lake." Vrinda says, giving a hint, "Look at that passionately buzzing male bee. The lower part of his body yellow with pollen. Shaking his head and loudly buzzing, he plays among the female bees, again and again forcing them to stop." Radha says aside, with these words, Vrinda reveals her heart and says openly, "O Vrinda, these fortunate female bees happily play with their beloved. There are some unfortunate girls who, even though they worship the sun god, still cannot see their beloved even from far away. My dear friend, if I cannot hear of the glorious activities of Krishna, it is better for me to become deaf. And because I am now unable to see him, it would be good for me to be a blind woman." Vrinda, "Friend Radha, day and night you are glorious with pastimes. Why are you so unhappy?" Lalita says, "Friend Radha, why do you look so tired and bent?" Vrinda says, Why do you, delicate like butter, carry a pot of butter? Your head, meant as the resting place of jasmine flowers, must suffer. Be kind and place the pot on my head. Radha says, friend, the weight of the pot does not make me tired. Look at these many ornaments Lalita forcibly placed on me, even though I tried to stop her. Vishaka says, aha, Radha, stand still for a moment. I will remove the ornaments. She removes the ornaments. Vrunda says, Lalita, seeing Radha even without ornaments, goddess Lakshmi becomes embarrassed. Why take so much trouble to decorate Radha with all these jewel ornaments? Radha says, oh Vrinda, I heard from the sages that all the doe-eyed girls bringing butter to this yajna will be rewarded with a host of ornaments. Vrinda says, you will get not only ornaments, all your desires will be fulfilled. Holding your hands, you should honor the holy places on Govardhana hill, for it is they who will fulfill your desires. They all do that. Champakalata says, friend Chitra, on our right glistens the summit of Govardhana, the wonderful king of mountains, a summit decorated with a lake sacred to Brahma, the potter who made all living beings. Chitra, friend, in that place lives Lord Narayana, who loves his devotees like a father. Vrinda says, look, friend, like Lord Shesha, this mountain has many heads. This mountain is better than Lord Shesha, for on its heads, chest and stomach, Lord Krishna enjoys pastimes with his beloveds. Lalita says, glancing at Radha, look, oh beautiful fair friend, please cast your glance on Govardhana's charming rock, where Krishna, the king of they who taste nectar, sat and gracefully drew with musk many pictures and designs on your breasts. Champakalata says aside, friend, listen, splendid with flying white cranes and glistening lightning flashes, that cloud makes the dark pavilion on top of Govardhana hill twice as glorious. Radha says, glancing at Vrunda, she trembles and says, a person like the moon now stands before us, a moon who is the friend of the gopis' eyes, a nectar moon who breaks the darkness of peacefulness in the lotus-eyed gopis, a moon that with its flute music makes the whole world tremble with amorous desires, a moon dressed in splendid yellow garments, a moon now standing on the summit of Govardhana hill. Vrunda says, friend Radha, listen, waving his arms that have the power to fulfill every desire of every doe-eyed girl in all the worlds, and splendid with a chest that has taken a vow to make every saintly gopi fall passionately in love with him. He who is the crown of all, who know how to taste nectar, is now splendidly manifest before us. Radha says, filled with wonder, many times Krishna walked on the pathway of my eyes, but I never saw such wonderful sweetness in him. Oh friend, my eyes have no power to capture even a single drop of the splendid handsomeness that shines on even one of his limbs. Vrunda says, whenever you see him, you say he is the wonder you have never seen before. Is Krishna really a new person every time you see him? Or do your eyes, made wild by love, forget that you have seen him before? Asking questions of Nandimukhi and accompanied by Madhumangala, Subala and other, Krishna enters. Krishna says eagerly, who is this girl standing by Govardhana hill, moving the bows of her eyebrows and shooting arrows of sidelong glances past her glistening jewel earrings? She wounds and bewilders me. He looks again. Aha, can this be my beloved, the dove who makes her nest in my heart? He is pleased with Nandimukhi. He happily says, now I have found my Radha, who is graceful, artistic, and passionately in love with me, whose graceful words decorate my ear, and who is like a veena that makes graceful sweet sounds, with ornaments of many notes and quarter notes in the different ragas. Nandimukhi says, O blissful of Gopala, I will hide for some moments, so they won't see me by your side. She does that. Krishna says, friends, sound the bugles and other instruments. Declare my authority to collect it all at this cart. I will also place the flute to my bimba fruit lips. Everyone does that. Vrinda says aside, dizzy by hearing the playful music of Krishna's flute, these girls are now stunned like trees. Looking about, the sound of Krishna's flute makes the trees and vines burst with flowers. It is thunder that brings sudden silence to the cuckoo's cooing and the brahmanas chanting at sunset. It is a playful breeze that fans flames of love in the moon-faced gopis. It is a thunderbolt that shatters Radha's mountain of peaceful composure. Krishna says, casting a sidelong glance at Radha, he says, her lotus mouth yearns to make friendship with expert joking words. Her two eyes yearn to make friendship with crooked glances. Her 2 feet yearn to make friendship with languid, playful steps. In Radha's body, everything yearns to make friendship with Kamadeva's friend, the splendor of youth. Radha says, carefully concealing her true emotion, she tilts her neck and says, as an aside, the bumblebee eyes of every girl lick the graceful splendor of his lotus petal limbs. The waves of his pastimes eclipse even the playful, graceful young elephants. This rake who stays in the forest by this hill has devoured my steadiness and peace. Krishna says, descending from the summit of Govardhana hill, he happily gazes at Radha. Radha placed a necklace on her large breast, a crown on her curly hair, and mascara on the eyes that reached to her ears. Jealous that his friends received better gifts than they, I fear that the eyes of this doe-eyed girl have given up all inclination to be honest and good. Lalita says aside, the king of rapacious swindlers now descends. Let us casually walk along as if we don't even see him. Radha says, friend, let's walk slowly, slowly. This crooked hillside path is strewn with stones. Casting glances at Krishna, she walks. Krishna says, not showing the slightest respect to us, these sweet-talking, anklet-jingling girls playfully walk by. Go with Arjuna and quickly bring them back. Subala says, accompanied by Arjuna, he quickly goes. Aha! Arrogant girls eager to sell butter without any respect to the master toll collector. You walk along as you like. Come back and explain yourself to us. Pretending not to have heard, all the girls openly showing their contempt continue walking. Subala says, running after them, he calls out, ha! Don't tarnish your own glory. Come back at once. All the girls say, annoyed and filled with contempt, they turn around. Degraded flesh eater. Why should we turn back because of you? Subal says, first touch your heads to the earth and offer respects to the greatest king of the toll collectors. Vishaka says smilingly, and why, O Subala, should we not bow down before the prince of the Gopas? Still, since we have taken a vow to carry butter on to an extraordinary yajna, noble Purnamasi has forbidden us to bow down before anyone but a Brahmana. Arjuna says, gently laughing, Vishaka, our king of the toll collectors now also follows a vow. It is not wrong for one follower of a vow to bow down before another follower of a vow. Lalita says, what vow? Krishna says smilingly, the name of the vow is daily gift of clothing to 100 million poor brahmanas. Lalita says, then it is right that you collect the tolls. Otherwise, it would be very hard for you to keep that vow. Krishna says, smiling, and looking at what stands before him. Friend Madhumangala, listen. Motionless, perspiration flowing over the golden ornament on her neck, and her eyes almost closed out of fear of her 5 friends, Radha has become like a painted statue. Madhumangala says, first he whispers something in Krishna's ear, then he speaks aloud. Dear friend, you are now blessed with good fortune. Look, standing by her proud friends, Radha is now stunned with fear. Vrinda says, smiling, your chest is broad and hard. Your waist is like a lion's waist. Your arms are like snakes. Your eyes are like a tiger's eyes. You are like a wild elephant pretending to be a man. You tell me, why should Radha not gaze at you with frightened eyes? Lalita says, the word fear never enters the ears of gopis protected by Lalita. What meaning can the word fear have for us when our Prince of Braja, who has taken a vow always to protect the people of Gopala, stands before us? Krishna says, Lalita, with the beautiful limbs, gracefully you speak. Accompanied by your circle of friends, please sit on this white rock and do what is right. Lalita says, Prince of Gokula, look, the sun god with his burning rays of light now climbs the circle of the sky. Therefore, we must now bid you goodbye, for we are anxious quickly to go to the Yajna pavilion. Knitting his eyebrows, Krishna hints that Madhumangala should act. Madhumangala says, Lalita, it's not right for us to take today at all from you. Your delicate waist must be about to break by carrying from early morning this heavy burden of water. Now you have come to this tall station. Therefore, you may now go with pleasure after giving a small token payment just to spare us from being accused of being negligent in our work. Vishaka says, never before have I seen a tall station by Govardhana hill. Krishna says, Vishaka, you speak the truth. How can persons like you see this tall station? Even as you look at it, you claim that you cannot see it. Lalita says, aside, friends, first we should try to pacify them. All the girls, they say, what you say is right. Lalita says, O bliss of Gokula, it is not right for a glorious person like you, a person who is the crown of all good people, to be hostile to persons like us, persons pure and saintly by nature, persons who live in the same town with you. Therefore, please let us go at once. Krishna says, sympathetic, O delicate girl, I am shackled by the order of the forest king, whose orders may not be disobeyed. By his order, I do this cruel work of collecting tolls. I am not independent. What can I do? Vishaka says, are you ordered by Kamsa? Krishna says, no. Vishaka says, by whom then? Krishna says, by the person whose sidelong glance makes Kamsa and a host of others tremble, by he who bears the name Kamadeva. Lalita says, I never heard of any king that bears the name Kamadeva. Madhumangala says, loudly laughing, wonderful, wonderful. They never heard of a mighty Kamadeva, whose hillside capital city bears the name Pramadamajan, the blossom of delight, whose council of ministers includes Madhumangala, Subala, Vijaya, and a host of others, and whose pastime place is a host of glorious gardens. Krishna says, what more need to be said? The deer, bees, and cuckoos are all his messengers. Champakalata says, laughing uproariously, Lalita, don't be angry with the Prince of Braja, even if he will not excuse this stall, for the spies of the king of thieves walk everywhere. Krishna says, Lalita, you know what is right. Put down your parts and we will settle this stall. Vishaka says, fascinating boy, to stay at a tall station for even a single sesame seed's worth of time is a great suffering for saintly girls born in good families. Chitra says politely, O bliss of Gokula, please hear the truth. If at all of even single coin is paid for it, butter meant for a yajna at once becomes impure. This we have heard in the Vedas. Otherwise, we would not mind paying 5 copper coins. Lalita says, friend Radha, this heavy burden must trouble you. Sit down to your part for half an hour. All the girls set down their parts. Krishna says, friend Subala, Lalita and her friends are the first guests today at our tall station. Therefore, it is right to honor them with 5 gifts of betel nuts. Subala says, opening a jeweled box, Lalita, please take 5 beetles. He places the box before her. Vishaka says, Subala, of what use are beetles to us? We have already said that we are following a vow. Lalita says, Subala, why do you stare at my face? Vishaka does not trust you. She angrily said to me, these toll collectors use drugs to make their victims fall asleep. I heard they are infamous for that. What is the use of these beetle leaves? Madhumangala says, of what use are these betel leaves to your bimba fruit lips? Blessed be you. You have saved us 5 betel leaves. Krishna says, he chews a betel leaf. Moving his eyebrows, he offers Radha the betel leaf he has chewed. Radha, without fear, please take this betel leaf purified by the Brahmana of my teeth. Then please take from this box as many betel leaves as you wish. Lalita says, my friend will not accept what has come from the mouth of a person purified by enjoying 100,000 lusty girls. If she did, how would she purify herself after that? Subala says, Lalita, we acted badly. By God's grace, we are now corrected by you. Now let us consider the payment of the toll. Champakalati says, are you all Brahmins that we should now give to you? Madhumangala says, saintly Champakalata, I am a learned Brahmana from a good family. Please fill my belly with candies made of butter and sugar. Vishaka says, friend Champakalata, pretending to be toll collectors, they are only begging to fill their bellies. Give them a 20 sankha coin. Krishna says, hungry friend, even though you are the leader of us gopas who always give generously to others, still you cannot even get some butter to fill your belly. Alas, how you have become attacked by poverty. Radha says, friend Lalita, saying, we give generously to others. These boys praise themselves. Perhaps they will give some valuable gift to you girls with very fair complexions. Krishna says, smiling, O girl with the fairest complexion, you speak the truth. I take my greatest wealth and now give it as a gift to you. As a hint that he would like to embrace Radha, he embraces Subal. Radha says, the hairs of her body erect, she says in an aside. Even in the front of his elders, independent Krishna places you on his broad lap and embraces you, making the hairs of your body stand erect with joy. Then he places his snake-like arm on your shoulder. O Subal, in what holy place did you perform how many austerities in your previous births? Filled with envy, she knits her eyebrows. Then she speaks openly. Lalita, see how the king of the forest mocks chaste girls like me? Lalita says, speaking words with a hidden meaning. O bold cuckoo bird, why do you foolishly fly to the budding mango tree you see? At the tree a black bee stays. O cooing bird, you will not easily approach it. Vishaka says, the straight avoid the crooked. This is seen when a straight arrow placed on the crooked curved bow quickly runs from the bowstring. Chitra says, O master of the tolls, if you are a real toll collector, you would set up your toll station on a crossroad by Yamuna's bank, where many people pass. Champakalata says, pure-hearted friend Chitra, please stop. These boys are thieves who live deep in the forest. They pretend to be toll collectors only to rob people. Krishna says, friend Subala, Chitra is our friend. We should indeed set up our toll station at the entrance to Vraja village. Many restless-eyed girls have already fled into the forest. Subala says, dear friend, you speak the truth. Look, at the beginning 1,000 girls followed Radha. Now there are only 4. Radha says aside, at sunrise, Kundalata sent me to the yajna with a great host of other girls. Madhumangala says, Subal, please know that these girls will come. When the beauty of springtime comes, the cuckoo birds cannot stay away. Vishaka says, smiling, the beauty of these girls' feet will turn your tall station into a blossoming Ashoka tree. Krishna says, looking to the left, he cheerfully says, How the shore of Brahmakunda is decorated by so many young girls, splendid like gold. Lalita says, smiling. The Puranas say, a greedy man sees the whole world full of money, and a lusty man sees the whole world full of lusty women. The truth of these words now stands before our eyes. Madhumangala says, friend, she does not make fun of you for no reason. The girls you see are only swans yellow with lotus pollen. Krishna says, smiling, friend, if they don't come, why should we worry? On this auspicious day, let us begin the collection of the towel. Radha says, frowning, who is the crest jewel of the bold and reckless? Who is the person who even with only words will try to collect it all from the girls of Gokula, especially from the girls who worship the sun god? Krishna says, smiling, O girl with a beautiful face, I will teach you good manners. Doe-eyed girls should not speak so boldly when the glorious king of the forest gardens is present. Radha says, friend Lalita, you have fallen into the hands of an arrogant, crooked, tall collector. It's not good to be gentle with him. Krishna says, friend Subala, you heard the hard thunderbolt of her words. He bites his half-extended tongue. This is very bad. Very bad. This girl, filled with the pride of youth, calls me, who am the crowned ruler of the kingdom of this tall station, an ordinary person, a mere tall collector, a leader of the cunning cheaters. Lalita says, it's not surprising that this tall collector in the fearsome forest is always embraced by a flute full of holes, a hard stick and a crooked curved buffalo horn bugle. Subala says, drunken babbling fools, you should not insult the king of all generous men. Radha says, even if he is a king, what is that to us? How can the king of snakes succeed in attacking a mongoose? Even biting the animal with its teeth, the snake will not attain anything good. Krishna says, girl with the crooked sidelong glance, you speak words that please my heart. Listen to this. Cheerfully he says, O Radha, your graceful form is like Lord Shiva's. He carries a crescent moon on his head, but your forehead is a crescent moon. His body is covered with ashes, and yours is glorious with great splendor. His eyes glisten with fire. Your eyes glisten as they gaze on the path where Krishna will come. He is accompanied by Kartikeya, and you are accompanied by Vishaka. With the fire of his sidelong glance, he burned Kamadeva to ashes. With the effulgence of your sidelong glance, you make the passions of Kamadeva come to life. O Radha, because your form is like Lord Shiva in all these ways, please accept me as a rake, who will be your king of snakes. Lalita says, Krishna, Lalita is a cunning deer, not easily caught in your traps. This your friends know well. Give up your useless arrogance. Krishna looks at Subala. Subala says, Lalita, how can they not know? When the master of the forest garden caught these girls stealing his flowers, he took away all their jewel ornaments. Then these glorious girls, who all worship the sun god, had to apologize with blades of grass between their teeth. The wonderful glory of these activities glistened before our eyes. Krishna says, friend, I had forgotten those happy pastimes. It is good that you reminded me. Smiling, how many times by this hill did I take away their necklaces and all their possessions? How many dear-eyed girls did I initiate into Jaina Dharma? The poor girls begged me with plaintive words and hid their faces. Then the blossoming vines became their friends and gave them kindness. Vishaka says, what is the use of beating the dindima drum of cruel, crooked pride? Lalita says, friend Vishaka, yesterday when we told her how Reap would open Radha's priceless jewel bodies, Purnamasi spoke many words against him. But at that moment, a wild madman suddenly entered, again and again calling out the name of the famous Gandharva. Ha! He babbled many incoherent words. Who did not feel pity on him? Subala says, that bramble forest Purnamasi cannot come here. I don't see anything to stop us from robbing these girls. Champakalata says, glory to the shining sun of Lalita's great power, a sun that thwarts the power of thieves. You fool. Glancing at Krishna, she says, ferocious Lalita is here. Boy, will not get even a single broken coin. Krishna says angrily, Vrunda, ye have joined the gopis' side, so be it. See how I become a kokila bird that expertly snatches the flower bud of a tall payment from the mango branches of these restless gopis. Lalita says, thieves who steal from others' houses must be stopped. Now this boy is surrounded by the flower hands of a host of mango trees protected by a host of ferocious bumblebees. This boy makes your jasmine garlanded friends and me also burst into laughter. Krishna says, playfully smiling, O golden-limbed girl, please say whether you wish to pay the toll or to be my guest in a cave. Angry and disdainful, Radha is silent. To no lotus-eyed girl are you inferior. Your beauty and pastimes have no precedent. Your cunning makes you uncivil. Why then should you not stand silent without speaking any answer? Nandimukhi says, slowly approaching, O lotus-eyed Krishna, to you noble Purnamasi sends a message. Krishna says, Nandimukhi, tell me at once, what does the noble lady command? Nandimukhi says, she says, our girls headed by Radha today must bring some butter to a yajna. Therefore, please be lenient in asking a toll from them. Krishna says, pretending to be happy, I accept this command as great mercy placed upon my head. Glancing to the side, friend Madhumangala, the butter of the young girls who worship the sun god is very sweet. This is well known in Gokula. The proper toll is 3 takas of gold for every taka of butter. However, because they are under the care of noble Purnamasi, these girls need pay only 1 taka. Madhumangala says, dear friend, 4 takas make 1 karsha. 4 karshas make 1 pala. 100 palas make 1 tula. And 20 tulas make 1 bhara. In this way, the mathematicians speak. These gopis headed by Radha each have 1 mahabhara of butter. Lalita personally said this. Krishna says, smiling. Then, Madhumangala says, 50 bharas make 1 mahabhara. Therefore, these 5 gopis owe 8 million takas of gold. To that, I add a toll collector's commission of 400,000 takas, for a total of 8,400,000 takas as of gold. Krishna says, friend greedy for nectar, when you say the commission is added, you lie. Bribed by these girls, you made the toll less than it should be. That is why you say the toll is only 8,400,000 takas of gold. Madhumangala puts his mouth to Krishna's ear, but then without whispering anything, he pulls back. Krishna says, smiling, yes, I understand. Well done. The girl should place this payment before the toll station. Chitra says, O king of generous men, if the toll for 5 parts of butter is 8,400,000 takas of gold, then what is the price of the butter itself? Krishna says, Chitra, don't talk like that. If the butter were not priceless, why would the far-sighted sages performing the yajna offer many priceless jewels in exchange for it? Nandimukhi says, Lotus-eyed Krishna, these girls find it difficult to pay 8,400,000 takas of gold. Please be kind to them and think of a way to make it easier for them. Madhumangala says, dear friend, Nandimukhi said that each one of these girls has beauty worth more than 8,400,000 takas of gold. His idea only half completed. He smiles and closes his mouth. Krishna says, friend, that is an excellent idea. Nandimukhi's idea is that one of these girls may be accepted at the toll payment. Lalita says with a derisive smile, the baby parrot yearns to eat the grape but has no power to do it. Krishna says, these girls are not very much different. Still, lively lotus-eyed Lalita pleases me. Vrinda says, O Prince of the forest, Radha has hidden her jewels. Opulently decorated Lalita should be worth as much as the toll payment. Krishna says, O bewildered girl, look at Radha. Her teeth are Shikhara jewels. Her lips are rubies. The sweetness of her smile is a row of glistening pearls. Her face is a Chandrakanta jewel. Her hair is a host of glistening sapphires. She is the most glorious of all the jewels of young girls. How can it be right to turn away from her? He draws near to Radha. Radha says, pretending to be terrified, Friend Vishaka, protect me, protect me. Vishaka says, O wild elephant Krishna, only when the strong rope of Lalita is untied will you be able to plunge into this nectar lake, a lake surrounded by flowering Champakalata vines and many other flowering vines and trees. Lalita says, O wild elephant born in the Vindhya hills dear to Agastya Muni, it is not right for you to attack in this way. Vrinda says, aside, Friend Lalita, with sweet words I ask you, please be silent now. Let us watch these two fight, a great battle of joking words, words glittering with ecstatic love. Krishna says, O little girl who roars ferociously only at home, where will you run? If you do not pay the toll, you will find it difficult to take even one step from this place. Radha says, Must we merchants run in fear of the toll collectors? Krishna says, Excellent, excellent. Be still for a moment while I remove the necklace of stars on the rain clouds over your breast. I'll make the sun rise on those stars. Radha says, The night of those stars is very long and dark. It is not clear that the sun will ever rise on it. Krishna says, smiling, When the brilliant sun, the sun that is like a great eye that makes the lotus flowers bloom, rises, then the necklace of stars is taken away, and the garment of darkness falls. Radha says, O sun, your effulgence will not stay when the dark Rahu planet rises. Krishna says, Look at the mark of my invincible chakra. How can the Rahu planet rise now? Radha says, laughing, O mark of the chakra, your poison has no power. O snake of debauches, the poison in your fangs is useless. Why are you so cheerful? Go to your cave and kiss your snake flute. Krishna says, Girl of the tolls, you speak the truth. Wishing to show his displeasure, the ferocious elephant of flowers uproots you lotus girls with his trunk and then raises his great tusk to celebrate. Radha says, Please know that this lotus girl will not give you even a single coin. Krishna says, O beautiful passionate girl, do you wish to give yourself instead of the coin? The king wants money. He will not be pleased to get only a girl. Radha says with a derisive laughter, O ringleader of the thief toll collectors, please be kind. Be kind. Be kind to this person and pay the toll for her. Krishna says, Ferocious girl, you are a great scholar learned in the art of selfishness. Your words are marked with a series of jokes, but in the end your true intention comes out. Now please hear the truth. O girl with the withered limbs, a man like me is embarrassed even to touch a girl like you. A girl whose neck is almost broken by the heavy burden of a great pot of butter. Therefore, be humble. Don't try to mock me with your proud laughter. Radha says, When you are mocked, you think people are glorifying you. That is called the height of pride. When a flower garland is placed on your horns, you think everything has become auspicious. When someone gives you a jambu stick, you think you are being honored. You blossom with happiness. All the girls loudly laugh, making a great sound. Krishna says, Now my words will take their rest. My hands will now remove your diamond necklace. Radha says, Are your flower petal hands foolhardy enough to try and touch my thunderbolt diamonds? What is the use of this foolish pride that comes out of your mouth? As all you boys watch, I will go away. Krishna says, Your long hair is like wings. Flapping those wings, you will fly away. Radha says, Boy, who serves 1,000 parrots? I am not a parrot that I will fly to you. Krishna says, You are a parrot I will place in a cage. You are the wager I won when I threw dice on the dice board. He yearns to hold her in his arms. Radha says, you are pathetic, pathetic. You serve Kamadeva so earnestly that you do not fear the sin of touching a chaste girl devoted to her husband. Krishna says, smiling, passionate, ferocious girl, it is true that you are bound by vows to an always angry husband. That is why I am so eager to serve you. Radha says with love and anger, O Pandita, learned in crooked argument, stop. If you touch a chaste girl, you will suffer a great calamity. Krishna says, O girl, so proud to be so exalted, am I so lowly that I should not even touch you? Radha says, arresting others' wives in the middle of the forest is your way of acting like the great souls. It is a mockery of their actions. Krishna says, passionate, beautiful girl, you think yourself the best of girls. Because you are so exalted, please pay this toll. Radha says, bewildering boy, this girl is not the kind of person boys like you think she is. What is the use of your proud pretense to be a snake charmer who makes the two snakes of your eyebrows dance? Your toll will not be paid. Krishna says, O generous girl, now that I see you are eager to pay the toll, the dancing girl of my eyebrows trembles in a great festival of joy and begins to dance. Radha says, I am a heavy golden statue. Even fire cannot harm me. Even though you are a great snake with many hoods, your fangs are useless against me. Krishna says, Radha, you are indeed a wonderful iron statue, and I am a magnet drawn to kiss iron. Therefore, please accept my embrace. Radha says, recoiling a little, get back, in a tone of distress. Don't embrace me. Krishna says, why should I not embrace you? You are the crest jewel of girls. You are the payment given to me in place of the toll of 8,400,000 takas of gold. Desiring to embrace her, he approaches. Radha, hurriedly stepping back, says, Lalita, do you see this as a game? Nandamukhi says, friend Radha, why keep pretending? How far can you run from him? Lalita says, stepping forward, although we will not place on the edges of her ears this talk of paying at all, that you rascal plunderer speak, I wish to tell you something. Krishna says, cruel, hard girl, say what you like. Lalita says, today your friend said that each of these girls is worth more than 8,400,000 takas of gold. My dear friend Radha is famous in this world as the most valuable of all these girls. She is worth much more than your toll payment. Thief, why do you think you have the right to grab her by force? Krishna says aside, I have no words to answer. He pretends to hear something. Subala, what is the deep, unclear, unchanging sound I hear from far away? It makes me tremble. He whispers in Subala's ear. Subala says, I will go and find the cause of that sound. He exits. Krishna says, O Lalita of the harsh words, it may be that your friend Radha is worth 8,400,000 takas of gold. Still, she is not worth more than 10 million takas of gold. Therefore, I, the great lover, will be forced to accept you as the payment for the remaining thousands of gold takas. Radha says, Nandimukhi, well, have you followed noble Purnamasi command? Now the toll is increased to 10 million takas. Nandimukhi says, friend Radha, how is her command not followed? After all, Krishna is still charging only 1/3 of the full toll. Accompanied by a friend, Subala enters. Subal says, dear friend, the lion-like king of the gardens is victorious in battle. The jubilant sounds of his army have deafened the circle of the directions. Krishna says, dear friend Ujjvala, do you not carry a letter from the king? Ujjvala says, yes, here is the king's letter placing you in charge of the toll station. Krishna silently reads the letter. Vrinda says, O king of heroes, we also would like to hear the letter. Please untie your mouth and read it aloud. Krishna says, reading aloud, Some ferocious, crafty, arrogant girls with beautiful eyebrows cleverly avoid paying the proper tolls. You must be careful to catch them. If you see them cheating on the toll payments, you should charge them a penalty 100 times the amount of the toll. Nandimukhi says, O king of all generous boys, how can these girls, pure by nature, ever desire to cheat on paying the tolls? Krishna says, still, the forest king's command must be obeyed. Approaching a little closer, it is very surprising. Even though they have not quite passed out of childhood, I can see these girls are very book-zoned. Looking again, he says, why do such waves of golden glory come from their breasts covered with beautiful bodices? Radha casts at him a crooked sidelong glance. Krishna says, filled with wonder, he says in an aside, playfully tugging at her garment, she tries to hide the fact that the hairs of her body are standing erect. Her lips continue to sweetly smile, and she gazes at me from the corners of her restless eyes. In vain she is angry by hearing my words. In vain she tries to chase me away by knitting her eyebrows. Then openly he says, excellent, excellent. O king of the gardens, truly it is said, the king is most intelligent. Casting a glance to the left, Nandamukhi, look, look, hiding 10 gold pots on their chest, these 5 girls have tricked the toll collector. All the girls say, knitting the bows of their eyebrows, they angrily say, rake, go home. Krishna says, aside, Vrunda, look at Radha. She is like a lioness with crooked eyebrows. Tormented by Lord Shiva, Kamadeva worshipped these 5 saintly girls. Obtaining great skill from them, angry Kamadeva now aims at me. The 5 sharp arrows of sidelong glances he places on the bows of their eyebrows. He is overcome. Madhumangala says aside, why don't you control yourselves? From the corners of their eyes, those girls are looking crookedly at us. Krishna, concealing his feelings, says, friend Madhumangala, I was stunned by the great wonder of the crookedness of these crooked eyebrowed girls. So be it. What does it matter to us? The toll on the craftily concealed golden pot should be doubled, then multiplied by 50, and then multiplied by 100. Madhumangala says, listen, the king's share of the toll is 4 billion coins. Your share, O master of learning, is 640 million coins. My share as the accountant is 250 million coins. Then 1100 million coins is the share of the gods headed by Subal. Krishna says, then the total toll is 5 billion coins. Radha says, smilingly, I don't see that you have any big money chest. Where will the money go? Krishna says, enough with these jokes. Oh dear-eyed girl, happily pay the toll we have calculated. Nandamukhi says, approaching Krishna, she angrily says, oh charming boy, why do you falsely increase the toll for the parts of these honest girls? Girls dear to our noble Purnamasi? Krishna says, Nandamukhi, there is nothing false in the calculation, it is correct. These 5 girls do indeed have 15 parts. Nandamukhi says, O king of heroes, persons like myself who are followers of saintly and austere Purnamasi do not speak unless we know the truth for certain. If you still doubt my words, then come and see for yourselves. She takes Krishna to Radha. The obstinate prince of Gopala does not believe my words. Please be kind. Lift a little the edge of your garment, show the edge of your breast, and free yourself and your friends from the hand of this king of rapacious rascals. So we are going to stop here at page 20, and we will continue in the second part. And before we conclude our session, we are going to sing a song written by Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī. It's called Radhika Stava. See here. And then followed by a small kirtan, and we'll conclude the session. So we are going to sing this song, which is written by Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī. It says Radhika Stava, the glory of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mohite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mohite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Damodararati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkuta Vrunda Vipineshe Damodararati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkuta Vrunda Vipineshe Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Vṛṣabhanudadhi Navashashilekhe Vṛṣabhanudadhi Navashashilekhe Lalita Sakhi Guna Ramita Vishakhe Lalita Sakhi Guna Ramita Vishakhe Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharite Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharite Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Gurudev, Gurudev, Dev Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Om Sankirtan ki jai, Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī ki jai, Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī ki jai. So thank you very much for joining today's reading. We are going to continue the reading in part 2. We hope you'll be able to join us in the second part as well. Hare Krishna.